Yo, Benny! I don't think he's home, man. Benny, man, yo. Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm MC Savant from the Cankersaurs. You can catch me on funnyordie.com/Cankersaurs, K-A-N-K-S-O-R-Z, you know what I'm saying? But right now, it's all about Benny TV. Yo, because my boy Benny the Gagoots got his own show. And I just want to give a big shout out to Benny. And in honor of that, I'm going to do a dope-ass freestyle, man. So he's got to figure out what rhymes with Benny. 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 What rhymes with Benny? Benny. What rhymes with Benny? Benny. He's in the Serengeti. He's hunting for a Yeti. He's on the ready. And Benny's always merry when he's eating his spaghetti. But right now he's in the desert, so his palms are kind of sweaty. His good friend Freddie, he brought him that Ben & Jerry. And Yetis, they love the Ben & Jerry. So Benny caught that Yeti and we all threw confetti. Yeah, Benny. Benny TV, baby.
Benny TV, baby! Benny TV, baby! Woo!
Benny TV looks different up here, right?
Yeah. My special guest co-host tonight is Pat Marone and John Santo. Yeah, and tonight on Benny TV, we're going to, it's October, so we have to do horror, but we're going to do horror comedy. So we've got some great trailers.
Sounds like my act.
We're going to do some great trailers and stuff. But first, I do want to talk comedy with you guys. I consider myself semi-retired, although I was never really an actual stand-up comedian. But I do perform it, and you've both seen me. I emceed a show this past Saturday at the Monarch Lounge, and you were John Santo was the headliner.
I was the headliner.
And your
Fun show.
I'm going to do another show. I'll talk about that in a few minutes.
But
I've got another one
couldn't have
coming
had a
up.
better headliner.
Oh, he was
Well,
great.
there's a lot of better headliners.
Well,
I was the best that was available.
Well, listen, I'm just, there is a lot of good ones.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
I think
that.
you're terrific, so.
Thank you. You're terrific, too. I love that. And Benny was terrific.
For that show at the Monarch Lounge show.
We're moonlighting, by the way, on the
We've got a
live
picture.
show.
People, here's a picture of it. Now, it turns out to be a cool room, and it happens to be attached to a flea market.
Yes.
So Jessica Colazzo was also on the show, and on that show, and Nigel Fullerton, who's also, they've both been guest co-hosts
Great
here.
act, yeah.
Yeah, he had a good lineup.
So
there.
it was a 3-comic show with an MC.
Sounds like a fun
That's
show.
what I like.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm going to do them. I'm going to do them once in a while there.
Yeah.
And it was funny because on Facebook, Jessica had put it's been my lifelong ambition to perform stand-up comedy in a flea market. And then John gets a hold of me and says, "We're performing in a flea market?" But it turns out to be
great.
It's a cool room. It's not in the flea market. It's next to it, and owned by the woman who owns the flea market. It's all set up for music. So there's actual backup monitors. Monitors for the stage, so you can hear yourself talking.
Nice.
And then great sound system.
I've been itchy, though, ever since the show.
From the fleas, from the fleas.
Well, if I get on the show, I wear a flea collar.
All right, yeah, there you go. He's
I've been
got an
scratching
answer.
like a dog.
Got an answer for everything.
I had a black
have a
dog, and when he wore a flea collar, he looked like a priest.
I have a show coming up. A show coming up.
Oh.
A show coming up there in that room. It's going to be on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, because I kind of feel that's a party night, right?
That is a
Yeah.
party night, totally.
Yeah, you know, so I think
Totally.
and Pat's going to be in this one.
Right.
And I didn't find a headliner yet.
Well, you found a partier, so that's
Yeah,
why.
there you go. So we can
That's an
party.
awesome night. A lot of people want to go out for a show that night.
Right. So I made it cheap right now. It's only $10, and they do serve snacks and beverages. Mm-hmm. But
Sounds like a fun night.
Fun
Yeah.
night.
And if not, you can go shopping in the intermission.
But they
Anyway.
have that big thing in the front, that air
yeah,
thing.
they have one of those air things that goes like shakes like when in front of a car dealership.
That
or
was my
whatever.
first comedy show with one of those things, so
Wow.
I broke a lot of records.
like one of the floats on like the parade.
No,
No,
one of
like-
those things with the air and it's got like looks
Oh.
like two hands and it looks like a cigarette, like an
Oh,
orange
okay.
cigarette.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
posted a picture of it on Facebook.
Sounds interesting.
All right. Anyway, we've got a lot of show.
Lot of show.
To cover. So we're going to show a video. We're going to show a trailer for a classic horror comedy. We're going to show the trailer for Young Frankenstein.
Oh, yes, my favorite movie.
Young Frankenstein, all right? And then Ryan will join us. So you're watching Benny TV on Strong Island Radio and Television and live in Paradise Studios with John Santo and Pat Marone. Let's show the tape.
That was easy for you to say.
It's coming from the deep, dark recesses of the mind of Mel Brooks. I love him. Young Frankenstein.
Sky means business.
Young Frankenstein.
Oh dear, nothing left. What shall we throw in now?
Starring Gene Wilder as Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
But what about your grandfather's work, sir? My grandfather's work was doo-doo!
Peter Boyle as the monster. Marty Feldman as Igor.
My grandfather used to work for your grandfather.
I'm sure we'll get along splendidly. Oh, sorry.
Cloris Leachman as Frau Blucher.
You played that music in the middle of the night?
Yes!
To get us into the laboratory.
Yes!
And it was you who left my grandfather's book out for me to find.
Yes!
So that I would...
Yes!
Then you and Victor were...
Say it. He was my boyfriend!
Kerry Garr as Inga.
Would you like to have a roll in the hay? Roll, roll, roll in the hay.
Kenneth Mars as the inspector. And Madeline Kahn as Elizabeth.
Where am I?
Calm down.
What are you going to do to me?
I'm not afraid of you. Listen, I have to be back by 11:30. I'm expecting a very important call.
Kill the monster! Storm my castle!
See Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein.
Yes, I think we could all use a good laugh.
But don't see it alone. Don't miss Young Frankenstein, personally directed by Mel Blaze.
And we're back on the show that everyone watches because it's the best show, Benny TV. I'm Ryan, the Flex Rizzuti.
Also known as Baby Gagoots.
Also known as Baby Gagoots.
Baby Gagoots.
Okay, yeah, let's...
We were going to have him sit on his father's lap for old times, but...
I still don't know how he knows about that. But yeah, let's talk about that. So, you always call me Baby Gagoots.
Right.
Even when on Laughter Saves Lives, if you refer to me in the booth.
Yes, he's the man.
I didn't even know your real name for like
Not really a
Yo,
baby.
no,
you're just Gagoots'
Laroki
baby.
didn't know my name either.
weeks.
Like 2 weeks ago, Laroki was like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Ryan."
Yeah, you were producing the show for weeks. I didn't know your name.
But it
Yeah.
was Baby
Baby
Gagoots.
Gagoots.
Baby Gagoots.
I love the name.
I like it too. Like, my dad was saying earlier, he's like, "Oh, if I said it."
Yeah, if I was the one that came up with Baby Gagoots, he'd be mad.
But it's
'cause you call me
came up,
Baby
it's, you know,
Huey.
it's a name. It's going to stick.
I call you Baby Huey. You were a big kid. When you went to high school,
Because I was a big kid.
No, but when he was you had look at his shoulders.
Yeah.
The kid's got athlete shoulders.
Huge shoulders. The
Yeah,
front
he's a big kid.
Yeah, no,
big
and
arms.
they
Big
wanted
arms.
him. They wanted him in football. He was in
I did
track.
I did shot put. At
They
one
did
point.
shot put. They wanted him in track. They wanted him in sports. He
Yeah, he's
didn't want
tall.
to do it.
He's tall and he's big. But you listen, he's doing what he wants to do, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do what I'm passionate about.
Yes.
Like, I can't see myself doing anything but what I'm
dragged-
doing.
And we were talking about that thing, that movie, that little, not movie, with a TV series, the diner that you guys took
Yeah,
the
the short, my short
years
film,
ago
my
on the
senior
show, his
film.
short, the diner.
Oh, the restaurant.
Yeah, we were talking
Cerberus.
about that.
Yeah, that I'm
So, yeah.
slowly developing into a series.
Yeah.
And I finished the first episode, and
It was a
I'm
great- yeah.
rewriting it and putting
Yeah,
more
it was very
drafts in.
put together nice. I was telling him, I remember, I
Yeah,
watched
no, I
it
appreciate
because I
that.
know he's into producing and filming and all
Well,
that stuff.
that was
That was my senior project.
senior
in
project
college.
Yeah, it
in
was
college.
fun, yeah.
And
Yeah,
And you had it on the Benny Gagoot show.
I did.
I
big
wonder
time.
how we got that.
I remember that.
I
the
had
Benny
a
Gagoot.
little poll. Also, fun
awesome.
fact.
That was
the,
a fun show, the
that
Benny
f-
Gagoot
that
show.
It was shot in co-host of the Gagoot show, Nicola Monaco's restaurant. Villa
Right,
Monaco's.
right.
yeah, yeah, it was in
Villa
the-
Monaco.
in
Not
Villa
to
Monaco.
talk about but the Gagoot
food.
show was a fun show. We had some
it was a
fun
good show.
It
episodes
just
on
came up
there.
in my memories. The show we did 4 years ago
With me, you, and
came
him.
up as in my pictures.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the
Of
three
what,
of us
the
were on
three
it.
of us.
Yeah, when we
That
did
was
that
4
show.
years ago.
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it came up in my
Time
memories
goes-
The
too.
Natalie Perry
Wow.
episode, the famous Natalie Perry episode. Go back, Gagoot show, Natalie Perry episode. That was 3 years ago.
And that was a
Alright.
fun episode when we were on because we just threw it together. He called me up. I came down. I came in at 6:30. You guys were on the air at 6, and we had a fun.
Is that what
yeah.
it was? 6 to 7, right?
yeah,
it was
yeah,
6 to 7.
Yes,
that show.
yes.
I like
yes.
that show. I like that. Show.
Thank you. It was great. It was a different type of studio because
Yeah.
I could do that here.
Yeah.
We have the capability right
Of course
here
you do,
to-
yeah.
Technology.
to do
This is
that.
a nice studio
But,
too. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that show,
we have a similar setup in the second studio.
Right.
there's a
People
second
who don't
studio.
know, we have 2 studios in this studio.
So when you see some of the shows like the Living Room,
Living
and,
room,
Rudy's-
Under the Radar,
Yeah.
Rudy's
In
Room.
fact, that
Big
studio
hit
is
Rudy's
right
Room.
behind this studio.
We're going to be doing that for our
It's the magic of
telethon.
television.
We're going to be doing a telethon.
We're going to do
together.
the telethon. We're going to do it in the living room setup.
We're waiting. It's probably going to be in November now.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
No problem.
we
Whatever
don't know.
works.
Telethon. I got to get a tux.
John.
Yeah,
with the bow tie.
But
I got to get a tuxedo
I got
shirt.
All right.
I got to ask Larry Lombardi's going
You gotta
to do
get
Dean
him,
Martin
Dean
and Jerry
Martin,
Lewis.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He almost did the Gagoot show. Then I stopped. The show was 2 years, and I want to say as great as it was, and as much as I loved doing it, Nicole was my. She always didn't want me to tell people, but I told her she was co-producer with me. She
Equal
produced
partner.
the show. She had a lot to do with it, you know. And I gave her and I always called her my.
was the
my
number one
associate,
show.
My associate producer, #1 show.
In that time slot on
No,
that
but you
network,
guys had a lot of great
just
guests.
like this show.
We had great
Speaking
guests.
Myself and John.
Speaking
And,
of other great guests, we got a shout out from
Who?
John LaRocchia,
John LaRocchia.
the leader of Laughter Saves Lives
Yeah.
Live, who I first met on an episode of the Gagoot show that I co-hosted, and he does not remember that.
Well, John doesn't realize after this we're going to be doing the Laughter
We're
Saves
doing
Lives.
Live Saves Lives.
John and I are going to be doing it.
We're
and,
taking over, and they're our guests.
Hey!
We're gonna flip it.
All we have to do is
this
change the
show,
sign.
Hey, that could become a reality. Flip this show.
Flip this
Flip the show.
And then we'll
I
work
think we
our way
should just team up with Baby Gagoots and Benny and just do a show here with us.
And we're just,
We're just not going to stop.
We'll actually be able to talk.
Since we're doing
Not
shout-outs,
nine people.
since we're doing shout-outs, I want to shout out my old buddy David Kaufman. Dave, how you doing? Your mom, Mary Jane.
Yes, how you doing?
Mary Jane, how's it going? Jessica Lynn is watching. Art Schill is watching.
Oh.
And John Santo is
Art
watching.
Schill, isn't it
Oh
past?
my
What a
God.
coincidence.
I just put my
Isn't it
thumbs
past
up on
Art
it,
Schill's
like,
bedtime? He's up this late? Oh my
Art,
God!
it's time for bed. You ate dinner at 3:30.
Wow. That's the
Art's like
definition of your
82 years
birth
old.
special.
All right. But the Gagoot show turned out to be a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of work. Dealing with you comedians sometimes can be
Not
yeah.
us, but others.
others, not you guys.
Yes, we were.
John was actually the first Gagoot show we ever did. Was John Santo and J.J. Boyd.
I still get weepy.
You were supposed to go on cable too. That's what I was disappointed about. You were supposed to go on cable.
Yeah, but
Right before, and then boom.
yeah, but the cable was not. It was the public access cable.
Still.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then you guys used to promote things. You can't promote if you go to cable.
So
on
what?
public access.
So what?
You
You
can't
have
promote
fun.
what, our shows?
Any shows, anything you're selling, if you wrote a book, if you
So
had
we
a DVD
we
or a
wouldn't
CD.
be able to say visit my website, johnsantocomedian.com?
Probably not.
I couldn't say johnsantocomedian.com?
JohnSantoComedian.com.
No, and you
You
couldn't
can't
say.
say it on public access.
It was going to be a lot of work. It was going to be more work than I was doing, and I was doing a lot.
What if we wore T-shirts? johnsantocomedian.com.
Yeah, that
It'd
that
be like
might have
in
worked.
golf. You wouldn't be allowed to. You only can wear by your sponsorships.
But all right, Ryan has some questions he wants to ask.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I have many a question.
All right.
What's your question?
The interrogation room.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Ask all your questions. All right, where were you born? All right, no, I was kidding.
In a hospital.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
A hospital? What is it? It's a lodge where we live with sick people, but that's not important right now.
But let's talk movies. Let's
Okay.
start with Young Frankenstein because we did show the trailer to Young Frankenstein. Pat, you don't remember the movie.
I don't remember that much. No, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not. Well, listen, you get that George Bush face. With,
They can't see it. We're on the
Young
flyer.
Frankenstein. I'm not big into horror movies. I'm into comedy, but I was.
It's a horror comedy.
But I'm getting older. I forgot. I did watch the movie. It was great. It was
Are
funny,
you
but I
a
don't
movie
remember.
guy though? Do you go?
I'm
to
a
the
movie
theater?
guy. I like movies, but I haven't been recently. To be honest with you, the movies nowadays are all action hero movies and stuff
Right.
like that. I'm not really into that. I'd rather watch a comedy.
I guess he's not doing the Batman show.
Yeah. Oh, Batman! I love Batman. No, I do love Batman.
Of course.
But I don't know. I haven't went to the movies in a while. I haven't had time, but I do love the movies.
The movies are awesome. Mission Impossible 6 was awesome. I can't wait to see the First Man movie.
That comes out this week.
It came out Friday, I think.
No, it comes out this Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah, last
Yeah.
Friday was Venom and A Star Is Born, which I saw both of them.
You know, a movie I watched recently. It was a couple of friends of mine are in it, and it was just released on Amazon Prime. Was the movie Cruise?
Cruise?
Yeah, because it brought back memories of the times I was on Franny Lou Boulevard and stuff. It brought back memories of the '80s and stuff. So I got hooked into that watching that. But I do watch movies.
So
on
what's
TV.
Cruise? What exactly?
It's about in the '80s, the way they were cruising the Avenue, Francis Lewis Boulevard, when they were cruising that.
And just for what? Just because they had nothing better to do?
No, that's what everybody used to do. They used to hang out. There was places to hang out, and it was like what we did years ago. And pick up girls and stuff.
Yeah, that's what you did.
Yeah.
They were
right.
serenading
I've
And they used to
Back
race.
in
They used to race down there too. Yeah.
I've seen
A guy got
Hollywood
killed
Nights.
years ago
I know what your
Yeah,
kids
I
used to
know.
do back in the days.
So Young Frankenstein.
So Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein was a parody, and one of
Amazing.
Mel Brooks got into parodies because when he first started, he did 2 original comedies, the 12 Chairs, and the Producers.
And the producers.
The
Right.
Producers. 2 very funny
The
movies.
non-musical producers. He did
Non-musical, the
musical
original,
later.
yeah.
Right.
The original producers.
I always
were-
loved with Larry David on the Larry David show doing the producers.
Yes.
They put him on there because they were sick of being on. They wanted to stop the production. They figured they put him on there.
No, Mel wanted to do it.
Yeah.
He's like, Mel, I know you have an eye for talent, but Larry David?
Yeah.
Really, Mel?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm free. Larry David will up it up. For
Yeah. And they ended up liking it at the end.
So he was doing a producers
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
Sure,
It was
yes,
pretty funny.
exactly.
Yeah, it was
So
great.
producers about the producers.
Producers.
Yeah, it
We'll
was-
end the show and.
Yep.
But that was very good. He got an Academy Award for that too. I think for screenplay for the, and then Mel Brooks got into parodies, and he did
He
Blazing
became the
Saddles.
parody king.
He's the parody
Blazing
king.
Saddles. That was
Which
really.
Blazing
came first,
Saddles.
Blazing Saddles or
Blazing
Young
Saddles.
Or the egg.
Blazing Saddles was a riot.
Blazing
I love
Saddles.
Blazing
but-
Saddles.
Yeah.
That was great.
So when Blazing Saddles, when the trailer for this trailer that we were watching,
Yeah.
I think I might have cut it off, but it said from the director of Blazing Saddles.
Oh,
Or
so then it had to have
from the
come first.
people
Yes.
who gave you Blazing
Okay.
Saddles. And then that went on to spawn all of Mel Brooks. He did Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
He did
He
Space.
did High Anxiety,
Right,
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, which
It's probably my favorite is Spaceballs.
was a box office bomb, but the younger generation.
A lot of
Oh,
his,
I saw it. I saw it in the movies.
But it didn't do
yeah,
well.
it didn't do that well.
Oh, that was good.
It became a cult hit.
How, I mean, like
It's
it
a
was like
huge
only
hit now.
it was only 4 years after the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You know, so that movie was a bit like the ship at the beginning. They just go, "Dun-dun, dun-dun," and the ship keeps going. You know, for like a minute.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's one of those
Biggest ship.
movies. As time's gone on, as people have looked more fondly at Star
It's even
Wars,
better.
people, it's gotten better and better.
He says it's his biggest DVD seller.
Do you guys
It's his
want to
biggest
laugh?
one.
You guys want to laugh?
Yeah.
Lone Star.
I never watched Star Wars.
What?
I've never seen Star Wars.
And that's
Thanks
our
for
show.
coming by.
I have all my friends. They're into. We play golf. They got Star Wars head covers. I've never watched Star Wars.
You've never seen any Star Wars
Never
movie?
seen
Not
any
a
Star
one.
Wars. Never.
Wow. But you're
Okay.
not into science fiction.
Thank you.
I'm
I'll
not into
see you
science
guys
fiction,
another
no.
time.
I never seen Star Trek. No Star Wars.
You've
No?
never seen a Star Trek movie?
No.
Or the TV show?
No.
Not
Never
even the
saw
one
an
where William
episode?
Shatner talks to God.
No. I remember vaguely as a kid. I used to switch the channel. I didn't like
What
it.
does
I
God
wasn't-
need with the starship? Yes.
That's
Five.
so bad.
That's why,
that was so
That's why when
bad.
everybody's going crazy for Star Wars, I
You're
have
like,
no
"Ah."
clue. I have no clue what these
You're like,
Anyway.
are they remaking Goodfellas? What's going on?
that I want.
Yeah, you would go see that.
Well, they got a new Scorsese's making a movie with De Niro, the Irishman.
The Irishman. It's supposed to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, with heavy CGI to de-age them to make them look like they did in the 90s.
Yeah.
to make them look younger.
Yeah.
Pacino and
It's Pacino, Pesci,
Pacino.
and De Niro.
Bam! That movie's
Yeah.
gonna do great.
A few friends of mine are in it. Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
I didn't go. I didn't. My friends told me to come down for you. I never went for it, but it was a lot of friends of mine are in it. It's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Scott Baker's in it.
Oh, Scott Baker's
Scott
in it.
Baker's in it.
Scott Baker is terrific.
My friend Jimmy Kinnigan. A lot of guys.
I love
I'm really
Scott
looking
Baker.
forward to that. Scorsese's one of my favorite directors. Probably
Yes.
my favorite director.
The best. I think he's terrific. What about Mean Streets, Taxi
Oh,
Driver?
Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, even like, The Color of Money. I love the idea of The Color of Money.
Scream.
That
I'm
he
not
made
crazy
a sequel.
about that,
He
yeah.
made a sequel to this great movie, The Hustler. That's one of the first reboot
I thought it was
sequels.
good. I
And
thought it was good. I thought it was
And
good.
what I like
It's
is
different. It's very different from The Hustler's a better film, I would say. It has... It's,
Yeah, but I like the story. I thought Tom
but I
Cruise
love,
was great
I
in it.
love the Color of Money. I love the idea of an
saw that.
older Fast Eddie. It's Paul Newman as his character from The Hustler, older, with a young pool hustler played by Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it was great.
yeah, with
And
his
that's
hair,
it.
with
I
a-
love
It was
I
a great.
love that.
I thought it was
That
great.
wasn't. I'm confusing that with.
That's not Cocktail. Cocktail, he's at a bar.
That's another
Yeah.
good
Different
movie.
movie.
But
I like
Different
that.
move.
And there was the love
Flanagan.
interest, the very attractive love interest was that Italian actress, Mary Elizabeth Mastriantonio,
Yes,
salami
yes.
and provolone.
Yes.
You
yes.
would know that.
I know the salami and
Oh,
provolone.
Mary
Salami provolone. Oh, you would.
But Mary Elizabeth Mastriantonio.
But that was after.
But I always, it's like I feel like I could order that in the deli. G'day, you want a sandwich? I want the Mary Elizabeth Mastriantonio with salami and provolone, and a little oil and garlic.
When did
What, you making a stew? What do you-
Oh, what the Color of Money come out?
80s?
Yeah.
After Top
Probably
Gun?
the 80s, yeah.
I think it was around Top Gun. I would say it was after.
Top Gun
but
was 86.
I think
He
wanna
looks like
say-
his Top Gun
to the
days.
internet.
he's going to the internet.
Let's keep talking.
all right.
Probably early
I
80s.
wanna
I
go
was
back.
I was in school when it came out.
we
I
should go back
graduated
to
in
the
I want to
83.
go back to the topic.
Young
Okay.
Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
86
What?
was Color of Money.
Same year as Top Gun.
Same year as Top Gun.
So they both came out the same.
Same time.
89% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Same time.
If you haven't
long
seen
time.
The Color of Money, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, no, Martin Scorsese's a great director, but Mel Brooks, what he did with Young Frankenstein it's kind of a parody because there are some of the key scenes from the original James Whale Frankenstein movies
Oh, there.
are there, and he used some of the original equipment and made it in black and white when people weren't making films in black and white anymore. They actually didn't have this. It was more difficult to make black and white.
Than it was to
Than it
make
was
color
for
at that
color.
time.
Could you imagine that
Still
movie in
is.
color? It wouldn't be the same movie.
Well, not as
No,
much now,
no,
but-
would have been
it
hard.
is.
And at that time,
It is
I
and it
remember a
is.
few other movies that were in color, in black and white. Was Woody Allen? He was still making black and white movies, and Martin Scorsese with
Raging Bull.
Raging Bull.
Raging Bull, yeah.
One of the best.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
But,
movies.
I
That
love
was
Raging
a good
Bull.
movie.
And
Like a movie.
the acting, in Young Frankenstein, and Peter Boyle as the monster. Is
Oh,
just-
Peter Boyle's amazing. in
Peter
that.
Boyle's
Classic.
amazing.
And Gene
And Gene
Wilder.
Hackman was the blind man. A lot of people
Gene
don't know that.
Yeah, Gene Hackman was the blind man.
With
And-
with the coffee mug, and he goes.
yeah.
classic.
Oh, it was, and
And Marty Feldman.
Marty Feldman
Feldman's
is
great.
Igor.
Igor.
I go.
And
It's pronounced
Gene Wilder,
Igor.
you couldn't get somebody better to play Victor Frankenstein's
It's
grandson.
pronounced Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yeah.
I mean, you could say since then there hasn't been a better Frankenstein movie,
No.
even
Yeah.
non-parody. There hasn't been one better. There was the
best
Kenneth Branagh, Robert De Niro Frankenstein movie,
Right.
which I watched like 20 minutes of, and I was like, oh, that's good.
Terrible.
And then there was one a couple years ago, Victor Frankenstein, with James McAvoy as Frankenstein and Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, as Igor.
It's pronounced Igor.
My
They
favorite-
told me it was Igor. Well, they were wrong then, weren't they?
My favorite
My
Frankenstein
favorite line.
movie was Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein.
That's a great
That's a
film.
great one. We showed that trailer. That's a great film. That really is a great film. And do you know they were originally going to call it The Brain of Frankenstein?
Why? Not Abby Normal?
Abby Normal.
The Brain of Frank, because they wanted to get the brain from...
Just the brain.
They wanted Wilbur's brain. Wilbur was Lou Costello.
Okay.
So they wanted to put his brain into, and he's like, you don't want my brain, Junior. What he said.
Not Abby something or other.
Yeah.
Abby Normal.
But no, I agree as far as the Frank, and they've tried to bring, they could do vampire movies. It seems like
That's
they
a
make
bit
a
been done.
vampire
Mel
movie.
Brooks couldn't do a vampire movie.
He did
He
Dead
did,
or Loving
and
It.
it bombed.
good?
It bombed. It was
Well, no, like I
terrible.
was saying, his last couple movies, Spaceballs didn't do well, Robin Hood Men in Tights did not do well, and Dracula Dead and Loving It didn't do well.
Well, Robin Hood was, you knew was going to fail.
I really enjoy Robin Hood Men in
Robin
Tights.
Hood, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the thing. I was actually, I went with my mom to see A Star Is Born earlier today, and they played a trailer for the new Robin Hood movie that's
You
coming
went
out.
to see A Star Is Born?
Yeah, I'm cultured. I see everything.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
He sees every
It's the
movie.
remake
hate-
of The Star Is
The
Born.
Barbra Streisand. The name, but the earliest one was not Shirley. What's her name?
Judy Garland, but there's one before the Judy Garland
and then
one.
there's
There's
one
one
after the
before.
Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson.
Right.
This is the fourth one, and it's Bradley Cooper. He stars in it, and he directed it, and Lady Gaga.
Yeah, I heard.
is the
Yeah.
role. And I thought it was really great.
I would
thought
watch it.
I
I would
was
watch
a really
it.
big fan of it. It was really good.
hate country music.
It's not really country.
I despise
It's
it.
not. This one, it's more of a rock. It has a little bit of a country twang,
Yeah.
but it's more rock. It's a lot more
How
rock.
was it? Was it
based.
good?
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. My mom cried 6 times.
Oh, okay.
And my mom was upset that my dad was going to be here tonight, so she couldn't take him to see it tonight. She wanted to see it again.
She was probably crying because she knows he's coming home around.
You're such a freak.
I cried after Titanic, and my wife said to me, Titanic got in, huh? I'm like, no, we just wasted $20 for that stupid chick flick. No, actually, I did like Titanic. I'm just
I got thrown out of the theater for Titanic.
Titanic, why?
Because remember
He
that
was
scene?
smoking crack.
Sir, you can't smoke crack in here.
Remember that scene?
What?
where-
It's an iceberg. Ice.
I meant to
got
say
ice.
pot.
remember that scene where the ship goes up and everybody's hanging on?
Yes.
They're all hanging and there's
Yeah.
girls crying around you in the
Yeah,
theater.
yeah, yeah.
He was handing out tissues.
I yelled, on the count of 3, everybody pull!
You really yelled it out?
I told that joke afterwards, but
Now you're ruining his
No,
joke.
but no, 'cause when I went to see Gravity with my wife,
yeah.
she got pissed at me because when Sandra Bullock was re-entering the atmosphere, she's out of control, and I'm like, she's at 400,000 feet. She's got to align the heat shield for re-entry. Pull up the reaction control system.
And
My
you were
wife's
yelling that?
I'm
Yeah.
yelling, RCS, pull up the RCS.
I hope nobody else was in the movie theater.
Packed.
It was Gravity.
Packed.
I used to go to certain movies.
What are you, a scent of a
sometimes-
woman?
No, I didn't yell that out.
You
Oh,
were like
I
Al
said it.
Pacino.
My wife got pissed.
I used to-
She pinches me when I talk.
I
to her.
used to go to the movies and yell stuff out, and then sometimes I still do it at home. And they get
Or no, you'll just go, oh, oh, or he'll see like blood or something, be like, ah,
Yeah, all right, but I used to. I love the original
oh.
Dawn of the Dead. After Night of the Living Dead, they came out with the color version.
I hate zombies.
the original. All right. Anyway, I went
Just
to see
shoot them all this. They walk slow.
I went
Just
to
shoot
see
them
it
all.
with friends of mine.
Dawn of the Dead,
And
the fast zombies.
we started to yell
Zombieland, the
stuff.
fast zombies.
I'm the only one
Fast?
listening to you, Ben.
So shoot them sooner.
I'm the only one listening to you. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for you to get the rest of the story out.
Get the rest of the
I'm
story.
paying,
I heard this one
It's his
before.
show.
Listen,
I've seen
I'm
it
paying
some-
attention to it, and the viewers are paying
Yeah, that's
attention.
right. We're watching Benny TV. I think we should go to another video.
You want to go to another video?
Yeah.
What's the
let's
next
go
one
to-
you got?
What is this, like a basketball game? We're going to go to a call a timeout?
We're gonna call time. We're gonna call time out.
Going to the videotape.
We're gonna go to a video, and this is This is you were talking about Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Well, how about the Bowery Boys meet the
I
monsters?
love the Bowery
A fun
Boys.
thing about this movie.
Now we're
when I was
talking
a
my
kid,
game.
Fun thing about this movie, when I was a kid, my dad had the DVD, and I used to look at it. I never watched it, but I used to look at the case.
You gotta watch the.
What's that? Muggs McGinnis and that?
Muggs McGinnis, Bugsy Petruvio. You know?
Yeah, I love it. I love the Bowery Boys. And then the East Side
Flip
Kids.
Mahoney, Muggs
Slip-
Mahoney.
Slip
Mahoney.
Slip Mahoney, you worked with.
Yeah, but
You
that
worked
was
with a Slip Mahoney. What
And
are
now you
talking
got Pat
about?
Maroney over here.
And Pat Maroney.
okay.
And Joey Baloney and John Santa.
And let's go to the Video Oni.
Is
Video Doni.
You're watching Benny TV, and we're only getting started.
You'll get those hysterical, hilarious horrors when you join those Bowery Boys as overnight guests in a mansion of merry maniacs.
We just want your heads. Well.
Oh, well, if you just said that in a quick... Our heads!
Uncle Anton, the scientific stoop.
Would you like a high cut or a low cut, sir?
Oh, I'd like a low cut.
Uncle Derek, the medical madman.
What is it you're trying to say?
Help!
Cousin Francine, the fluff with the stuff.
I mean business.
Aunt Amelia, who's no camellia. The butler Grisson, he's gruesome. The family tree, a man-eating honeysuckle.
Boy, oh boy, I feel just like a space cadet. This will register his brain potential.
My friend here has a vacuum-packed head.
The Bowery Boys get the heebies, the jeebies, the willies, and the shakes, while you get the laughs of the year.
Gentlemen, I have a suggestion. 50-50.
No. Routine 6, Satch.
Okay.
All right, we're going back. And we're back!
Hey, we're back.
Big show tonight. Big show.
Really
Benny
big
TV.
show.
Big
Really
show.
big
Great
show.
guests.
Great guest co-host on this show. You're
You're
part of the show.
part of the show. You're
part of the show.
You're Benny, and you're Benny, and I'm Benny. We're all Benny
You're
TV.
baby Gagoo.
I'm
Everybody's
Baby
Benny.
Gagoots. Welcome to the show. I'm Baby Gagoots.
It's like The View, but interesting.
Yes.
Oh! Yeah, Joy Behar, come at me.
I don't understand what they're talking about. I gotta work on my.
You sound like Pacino again. Sometimes you sound like Pacino.
That's your Pacino?
It's Pacino, but I'm trying to do Joey Behar.
You do a good Whoopi Goldberg.
Pacino is Whoopi Goldberg.
Work on it some more.
All right. I don't know what that sounded
Me
like.
neither. But you're poking
Hey, Harvey Firestein. That sounded like Harvey Firestein.
David, aren't you watching, David?
Yeah.
David! Why did I do that, David? Why did I tell my mother to go to Miami, David? I gotta call my mother.
All right. We just saw the Bowery Boys, and I don't know if a lot of people
I have
remember them.
no clue what that was.
I've seen the box art.
And my mother's watching.
Yeah.
She loves
Your mother
the Bowery
knows what
Boys.
it is.
I grew
I
up,
never heard of it.
I grew up
The
watching. yeah.
Bowery Boys, the Dead End Kids, they had different names. They did like 1 hour movies. This particular movie is 1 hour and 5 minutes long. They were short, comical. They're very funny.
Full price?
They originally what?
You had to pay full price?
They were almost like the
I
Abbott
don't
and
know.
Costello
I've only
movies.
seen them on TV. I've only, and I owned.
Oh, you
They
weren't
were almost
there?
like the Abbott and Costello movies. They were
Right.
short, like
Yeah, shorts.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like Abbott and Costello. Abbott and Costello had a TV show for a while.
Yeah.
Or they
But
were
the
short.
movies were the best with
And
that
the-
because you watch them right before the football on.
Yeah.
11:30 they come on and football goes on at 1 o'clock. It was great.
And the Three Stooges had shorts, but
Yeah.
but the Bowery Boys was about 1 hour and 10 minutes. They were originally called the Dead End Kids, and how they got that name was there was a Humphrey Bogart movie called Dead End.
Oh.
Dead End with Bogey. I don't remember. There was a bunch of really good actors in it from the 40s. It
What
was a
time
40s
was the Bogey
movie.
thing on? The Humphrey Bogart movie.
What time was it on?
What time was it? I don't remember what he did. I don't even remember what he did this afternoon. You're gonna ask him about the Humphrey
You said they
Bogart
were
movie?
on 11:30. Is it on the
He's
same
trying to figure out the schedule. He's like,
No.
oh, I want to watch
You would-
AMC 20 years
You
ago.
would,
I
have to
don't
look, you would have to look up.
No, because a bogey at 12 o'clock and Fighter Pilot turns to something else.
You would have to look up Humphrey Bogart or look up Dead End.
All right, I'll look it up.
I don't remember who else is in the movie, but Joel McRae, I believe, is in it. So anyway,
Not Joel McHale.
Bogey is a criminal that he escaped from prison. He had a new face, new fingertips
Oh,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And he's in the neighborhood where he grew up and where a lot of the kids get in trouble. Troubled kids came out of it. So hence the Dead End kids. They needed the gang of kids and some of that gang went on somehow and they spun them off and turned them into comedians.
Yes.
And wound up making comedies.
And now they're doing
the Bowery Boys.
Now they're doing shows all over Long Island.
Now they're pushing up.
Well, now they're
Daisy.
pushing up. Yeah.
Oh, they're dead?
Yeah.
All right, so we don't have to worry about
Why they got the
fighting
name the Dead End Kids?
So we don't have to worry about fighting them for stage.
So that's all I have to say. But anyway, the Dead End Kids, now in the 80s and the 90s, they made movies like that still in Brooklyn and Queens and the Bronx.
Right.
In the Bronx. And
the
they had
Bronx.
and they had
In
a
the
group
Bronx.
of and they had groups
City
of
Island, Staten
of
Island,
kids.
Coney
They
Island.
had
Long
groups of
Island.
like kids who did different things, like hung out in the pool hall now and all, which I think they did that in that movie too. And right next to me is one of the modern day Dead End Kids. See how I segued into
That is television, ladies.
That's just my comedy act. There's a dead end. Yes.
No, no, Ryan wanted to talk to you about this. So
Well, I want to talk to you about our very own Pat Marone has been in some great motion pictures.
Yes, a featured extra in Analyze That and A Bronx Tale.
The Bronx Tale, directed by Robert De
featured
Niro.
extra.
Featured extra, not regular extra. Featured
Not a regular
extra.
Well, that's what they call it when you got the picture. You're a featured extra.
Featured.
Yeah.
when you get what?
Because you're in there with the main characters. You're not just the background.
Yeah, you're in like more than. Are
He's
you
not
you're
man
more than
number
one
two on the
scene?
I worked 10 days on a
10
Bronx Tale.
that's-
Bronx
yeah,
Tale.
that's a
a lot
lot.
of it you do editing. You do a lot of it's on the editing floor.
Of course.
You know, so I've got to be lucky to be in one scene that was on. A friend of mine was on it. It was all on the floor. So what happens is, I was in the scene where the kid brings the espresso down to the crap game.
Okay.
I'm shooting pool at the table, so you can like barely see me.
Okay, that's great.
But in Analyze That, I'm in the scene where Billy Crystal walks into the Topless bar,
Okay.
and he actually bumps into me.
Oh, he bumps
So
into
you see my head right there, so it's like perfect. It's like a good scene, you
Yeah,
know?
two De Niro films.
What about, will they be in the DVD, like the cut scenes?
I don't think so. No, they're not in there. No.
deleted scenes.
Some
I-
deleted
you know,
scenes are, but
I
some of
watched
those-
both DVDs. They don't have it in any.
not-
yeah.
you
Some of those you wonder, why did they delete that scene? That scene is awesome.
yeah, no, there are
Because
some
they
scenes.
they do so many takes because they want to put them together. They might not have deleted the scene. They might have deleted the angle where you were in it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that
Where you were
happens.
in it.
No, I
too.
mean like scenes. Like I saw 13 Days.
Right.
Good movie about the Cold War. There was some scene. What they cut that for?
Right.
They shouldn't have cut that out. It was a great scene.
Right.
But how did you know it was cut? Oh, you saw
he
the
went to the
deleted
deleted
scenes.
scene.
Oh,
Right, yeah,
deleted
deleted
scene.
I'm like, they should have left
But
that.
how
in the
long
picture.
was that movie?
It was like 12 minutes that they cut. The same thing with, it was not 13 days long.
What, do you got gas? Or you
Talk
laughing?
about the Cold War.
What was
Talk about how they
October?
cut out the Cold War because it's October.
The Cuban Missile Crisis. Don't trust those Russians.
All right, but how long was the movie?
13 days? Almost
No,
2
it
hours.
was that
It was 13 days. It's a DVD
You watch Betty
miniseries.
TV.
long. You know,
Who's on first?
sometimes they have to cut
Every
the movie.
Tuesday.
No, it's about
7
2
o'clock.
hours. Two and a half.
I happen to say this is a fun show. I'm
Lot
having a
of
good.
fun.
I'm having a good time here. It's a nice, relaxed show.
Thank
It's
you.
nice time.
And maybe we should talk to our audience a little bit because
Yeah,
I've been
hello,
to-
audience. How
Hello,
are you?
audience.
How are you?
No, we have.
Do you have any
I want you to
questions?
say some of the comments. I would love to hear this.
Ronnie Welch said, I'm with you, Pat Marone, not a sci-fi guy. No Star Wars, no Star Trek.
I find your lack of faith
Oh,
disturbing.
my buddy David Weiss is on. He's a nice guy. 10-10 wins.
Come on, Dad, say all the
David
comments.
Weiss, Bernard, thank you for what he's always watching. Thank
The
you.
one above that.
Colleen Marie, who,
Zach
Bobby
Lumberjack.
Brooks, Kurt Shue.
Yes, I got him to say it.
Oh,
That's like an inside joke between me and my good friend, great human being, Bobby Brooks, great humanitarian.
Bobby Brooks. What about Zach Lumberjack?
Oh, Zach Lumberjack, another great human being.
He said Taxi Driver was great, which was.
Did you see that they have a new Halloween movie this year?
and your
40
mom
years
loved
later?
the East Side Kids. I got to give her a like on that.
And the Bowery
I don't
Boy,
know
yeah.
how to do that.
You press it in and then you
They
hit
made a
like-
Halloween movie.
Yes, there's a new Halloween
This
coming
year
out.
there's another Halloween movie.
It's a sequel to the first Halloween.
To the
It's like
first
all the other
Halloween.
ones don't
Listen to that.
exist.
Well, they have to make money.
Listen to this.
Well, no, this was actually, it's made by Danny McBride and David Gordon Green, who is a director who works with Danny McBride, who did Pineapple Express, among other
Right.
films. And this was something they wanted to do. They went to the studio. They went to Blumhouse, who makes like a lot of big horror movies now.
All right.
And they said, hey, we want to make a Halloween movie. And at the time, nobody was making Halloween movies. They're like, the property's kind of dead right now. Nobody really wants to do it. They're like, no, we want to make a sequel to the first Halloween where it's 40 years later.
Right.
And none of the other sequels happened, and Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. And she read the script, loved it.
Right.
And they aired it at TIFF. They showed all these festivals. They say it's amazing.
Did you see the
And-
preview I did for it?
No, I did not.
I did a preview on Facebook where I had the Halloween music in the background, and I did the movie preview announcer guy. I'm like, Halloween 2018. It's 40 years later. Michael Myers tries to kill Jamie Lee Curtis, but she's already dead of old age. Because it's 40 years later! Are they kidding me?
You know what? The trailer makes you want to see that
It's almost
movie.
like Rocky. They keep.
Yeah, Creed 2 is my.
I think Rocky's going to meet Frankenstein in one of the episodes.
I want to see that. Rocky and Frankenstein have a brawl, you know?
It's me versus Mr. T.
It's funny you should say that. I want to bring this up. When we were showing one of the trailers, Pat said he loved The Godfather.
Yes.
And me too. And before Godfather Part 3, Francis Coppola did an interview in the Playboy magazine, and they said, "Will you
My
make?"
dad has every issue.
I did. They're not any good anymore.
Just for the article.
Just for the articles, only
Just
the
for the
articles. He
articles.
cuts out the rest.
I throw that in the garbage. So anyway,
I never saw it there, but he always said it
I
was
don't
in the
think he
garbage.
cut it. I think Nancy
Listen.
got rid of it and just saved the article.
those women didn't really exist. All right, they didn't because that's all I'm gonna say.
Because he wrote them letters and they never
yeah,
wrote back.
So get
Never
into
wrote
your
me
story
back.
about the.
So, in one of the interviews, Playboy did the best interviews. It was a couple of years after Godfather Part 2. They said, "Would you ever make a Godfather Part 3?" And he said, "The only Godfather movie I'd ever make would be Abbott and Costello Meet the Godfather." And a friend of mine who was a comic actually made a bit about it, and it was chick. He put a ice pick in my hand. Chick.
That's good.
I would see that.
That would have been a funny movie. I think that would have been a very funny movie.
We're talking
Go
about a
for
crooked
business.
cop, a cop that got caught up in the rackets, got what was coming to him. Tom, we got people on the payroll.
Now that's a good Pacino.
Yeah, that's
Pacino's voice changed.
It changed after Scarface.
After Scarface.
He got that raspiness.
It got this way, and he always yells.
Well, I mean, that's
Bam!
It's not. It's not
That's
me,
what he
Kay.
gets for doing the Tony Montana voice for so long, and that's
not-
what he gets for saying "Come on, Pelican" when there were flamingos on the
Play,
screen.
Pelican, play. Come on, Pelican.
Yeah, they're flamingos. They're not even pelicans. I love that scene. Me and my
It's
friends
not
talk
me.
about it
It's
all the
my
time.
producers.
But Pacino
Oh,
and he
and
was
Carlito's
amazing.
Way had
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the Scarface.
Yeah, he did the same voice.
Everybody
he
in
just got stuck.
Francis Coppola is one of my favorite directors, but only for about 5 movies.
Which ones?
The Godfather Part 1 and 2.
Peggy Sue got married.
Shut up. Apocalypse Now. He knows what. Apocalypse Now. Dracula.
Dracula.
Yeah.
He loves the Gary Oldman.
The Gary Oldman as
That scared
Dracula.
the shit out of me.
What a
When he
god.
does this with the fingers and he's across the room, I don't need that shit. Okay.
I don't need that.
What else?
I'm trying to think.
Jack!
I'm just trying to
What?
keep track
Oh,
of you.
all right.
Jack
Yay,
with
Jack.
Robin Williams.
The kids love Jack.
I love that movie.
What Jack? I never saw
Well,
this
Robin
movie.
Williams is a 10-year-old, but he's a 40-year-old man.
That was the Peter Pan movie.
I noticed you left 3 out.
Well, I didn't like 3.
I didn't either.
No, I never actually finished Godfather.
I try
Part
to
3.
make myself watch it.
I can't get through
I mean,
it.
like it. I'll watch it a
I
few
can't get
times,
through it.
but I don't
ruined
like it.
Godfather 3?
Andy Garcia
Him and who else?
and Coppola's daughter.
And the daughter with the nose.
No, Coppola's daughter was horrible acting.
Joe Mantegna, you weren't the worst part of that.
Disaster.
I think we
and
could.
she ruined the
No,
whole
but
picture.
just Andy Garcia was not.
I think we
really-
could all say Joe Mantegna was fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
Joe
fine.
Mantegna was good. But
Joe Mantegna's a
you know
great
what,
actor.
too?
He's a great actor.
He turned the third movie into just a formula of the. He used the first two as
a
just
formula,
a
yeah.
formula.
He
Although
should
the
have made.
story was
He should have
interesting
made
in
the
three.
Corleone family go completely legitimate.
That would have been more interesting.
Yeah,
That would have been a lot more interesting.
Let me tell you, even he didn't have faith in the movie. You know why? Because when he pitched it, he wanted to call it The Death of Michael Corleone. He did not want to call it The Godfather Part 3. The studio made him call it that.
Well, wait a minute now. His casting. I mean, if you look at the cast, it's the best cast. But they were going to have Redford play Michael.
Yeah.
How the hell?
I
would
don't
you
know
have
how
Redford?
that would work. That doesn't
In
make
the
sense.
original.
And I
You
can
thought-
understand why, because they wanted to have the guy, the All-American boy, coming back from the army.
Yeah, but that would.
But nobody was better than Michael.
And also, he wouldn't have fit in with
He
the
was
rest
Michael.
of the family.
Al
I feel like. He
Pacino
would've
was
stood
better
out.
than Marlon Brando.
You
I
know
don't
what?
care what anybody says.
They gave him such a.
To me, my favorite character in that is James Caan. I think James Caan.
Oh, the best.
Every scene he's in, he steals the scene. I think.
Yeah.
The studio gave Francis Coppola a real hard time with the first movie, so much that when they asked him to make the second one, he said, "I'll write the script, but let Martin Scorsese direct it." He didn't even want to direct it, and then they
would've
said,
been
"No,
great,
no."
I
They
think.
said, "You have to direct it," and then he said, "Well, keep that producer." He had problem with Robert Evans.
Right.
Robert Evans made him cut it down to like 2.5 hours. So that's an hour. They're 3.5 hour movies.
There's a lot of deleted scenes that they show on now. That
Well,
you
they
see.
put it
Yeah.
together. They put just
The
just
Godfather
one and
epic.
two. The Godfather epic.
Oh,
is
yeah.
That's the
I
first.
like
The
that one.
first way I saw that movie was the epic. My dad had me watch the epic, so I saw all the Robert De Niro scenes in Godfather 2 first.
Right.
And then I saw the first
Right.
movie, and then I saw. Most
And
of it.
I sometimes I never got to watch the whole epic through because you get tired of it.
It's like 8
But
hours.
did they
like
show?
8-9
Did they
hours,
show
yeah.
them at the end eating the Chinese food? They put it right in line, like.
I think so. Yeah, they put everything in order.
Now the in 3, I love. There's a great line, and then I used this on my wife when she had one of the bushes in my house cut out. I said, "Don't you ever give an order like that again? Not while I'm alive." Because she took out all front bush. I don't want to. What am I going to hang the Christmas lights on now? We're screwed.
One of the best scenes when Fredo goes in when Pacino's
doing, Mike?
when Pacino's meeting Mo Green, and he goes walking in. Mo told me to call him when the party's on.
Yeah.
He goes, he's walking in. Just
Mike,
the way,
you don't come out to Las Vegas. and
Fredo
talk
was
to
great.
Mo Green
I mean,
like
he
that.
was in.
Oh, yeah.
What
He
a
was in
great
Dog Day
actor.
Afternoon with
Dog Day Afternoon
with
is a
Pacino.
great
yeah,
movie,
he
too.
was great.
Wait, what a
Salvi.
great.
He played Salvi.
Knocking
Pacino
out
has
the
an
TV,
interesting.
His name
Knocking
was
out the TV.
His,
knocking out the
actually,
TV.
his name was
Spray
Joe
paint.
Joe Cazale.
Right, Joe
Yes,
Cazale.
yeah.
Right,
Joe
right,
Cazale.
right.
He died right after that.
He died after the Deer Hunter. Actually, before
Deer
the
Hunter.
Deer Hunter.
Yes,
was
the
released.
Deer Hunt, another great movie.
He's in
Scorsese.
But no, it's
Oh, not
Scorsese.
Scorsese.
De Niro's in it.
No, it's Michael Cimino.
Okay, but I was thinking, I meant to
There's
say
all- we'd be a
I
team
meant to
with
say
trivia.
De Niro was.
He
but
knows
yeah,
all the stuff.
De Niro's in it.
Yeah, that was a great.
De Niro's
yeah,
in
yeah.
it.
De Niro,
John
Meryl
Cazale,
Streep.
Meryl Streep.
I just watched that again
Meryl
recently,
Streep.
like last year. It was
Meryl
great.
Streep, I believe.
Yeah,
was-
recent.
Meryl
Yeah.
Streep, I believe, was engaged to Gazelle.
Oh, really?
Okay, yes, and he died. Had like brain cancer.
was a
or
great
something.
actor.
He was a great. He was really good.
And then, and then The Godfather. Not that. And then you go with the Godfather. If you notice, it's always on TV around Thanksgiving.
Oh, always.
Yeah, it's
always
always on TV.
And
around-
Christmas, too,
And
you can have
I
it.
It's
won't
on
watch it all
Netflix
year
now.
long, and I'll watch it with the commercials. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I got the DVD and everything.
Yeah, me too.
And you watch it with the commercials because you know everybody else is watching it too.
Well,
One
one
of
of the
our-
big things, if you haven't seen The Godfather, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
They put the whole trilogy on Netflix.
Oh, that's so cool.
I highly recommend, if you have Netflix and you haven't seen The Godfather trilogy, to watch it on Netflix. Or at least watch the first two, because they're two of the best movies ever made.
Christy Bonsignori said, "I love Gilbert Gottfried's screaming voice." We didn't
They
do
thought we were
Gilbert.
doing Gilbert Gottfried
When?
when we were
Can
saying.
you do Gilbert?
From Beverly Hills Cop 2. Don't let the shut door dissuade you. Just stroll right into my
No, but
office, bitch. That was the best.
David, when we were doing David.
That's Harvey
Oh,
Firestein.
that's Harvey Firestein.
Yeah,
That's Harvey Firestein.
Independence
Right.
Day. Haven't you been watching
Independence
David?
Day,
Christy.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right.
Seen the? No, he's not in the.
All right.
Another great movie, Miss Doubtfire.
I love Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay. Anyway, I want to circle around here.
Let's circle the wagons.
Let's circle the wagons. He's actually taking me literally.
Breaking the set.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
I know a lot about
We'll call a guy. We'll get it fixed.
I know a lot about the 3 Godfather movies because what I do with the DVDs
Is he watches them while he sleeps.
The kid is funnier than me. I know he is. He's funny. One day he'll do stand-up. He'll do.
I have done stand-up. Pat's
one
actually
day-
the first time me and Pat met was me at an open mic.
Yes. But,
All right.
but before you get to the Godfather thing, the first time that I've met Benny was an open mic at the Belmore Bean, and he was doing his skit of the Italian parade, the Sicilian parade.
Where I put a suit jacket
what
on.
happens is a guy, they were telling stories on the anniversary of the
there,
Bean.
too.
There was a guy that went off on Benny, and then I didn't know Benny that well. I didn't know Benny at all. So when I went up to do my act, I went up there and said, and then I'm going to blame some of the people in this room. And I started doing Marlon Brando on the mic. And then he started going nuts because I said, "Who's this Benny Gagoots guy? What's he doing here?" And I was going, and then he put me on the Gagoots. That's how I got on the Gagoots show. He goes, "Oh," he said, "You were funny." I said, "It was over the Godfather. I got put on the Gagoots show."
Yeah, that's right.
Full circle.
Yeah.
That's right. At the Bean.
Yeah.
If that hadn't been a coffee house comedy show, like where they didn't know that there was going to be comedy there,
Yeah.
if that had been a regular show, I would have tossed his ass out for interrupting you.
Right.
As a matter-
Don't take over the show. You don't like the material, you sit there. You don't take over the show and approach the comics.
But it was a coffee house, so it
That's
was
different. If that wasn't a coffee
If
house,
it-
I would have thrown him
Well, you're
out.
supposed to take their coffee, not the
But you
show.
know what was great? I couldn't get a word in edgewise over this guy yelling at me and calling me a racist for
Yeah, we
saying
should have
that-
beat the shit out of him
saying
anyway,
that
yeah.
Sicilians were criminals. He hated that because he was Sicilian. I tried
So
talking
were
to
we.
him. I know. I tried talking to him. I couldn't. So I told Les, I'm done. And I walked away. When the guy left, Les brought me back up, and I went, and John sat like my bodyguard. He sat in front, right in front of me like my bodyguard. He made sure nobody would interrupt. And some people said they couldn't believe I just got up and did, but I used him as jokes. I said, right now he's having a sit down.
And that was Les Deegan's first-year anniversary of the Bean, I think.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I wish to do my Tony Soprano impression. If anybody fucks with Betty's act, they're gonna get whacked. So you don't like the mafia? Guess what? There is a mafia.
That's what we should have done. We should have thrown him in the trunk of a car and driven him.
And like, relax, we're not gonna kill you.
But it was funny that I came up.
Have a soda. It's diet.
It was funny that I came up there and did
Ma, I need this knife, Ma, because I hit the deer with the hoof.
The hoof.
The hoof.
Hey, that's him without the beard.
The paw got stuck in the grill.
Yeah, whatever happened to your beard? You look like Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting with that beard on.
Then I shaved it off. Everybody would.
Another great
I'm gonna grow
flick.
back.
Another great
That V
flick,
goes
Ryan.
that way, the T goes that way, and Benny goes, "What do you want from me?"
So, what I was saying.
Oh, yes,
The
sorry.
reason I know about the Godfathers is I do play them in my sleep, but I play them with the commentary, and you learn a lot. And now, the first time I ever, because that commentary, Ryan would be watching a DVD or a show, and Ryan had the commentary.
And he's like,
I
"What's
never did
that?"
it. I never did it right. I was like, how come people are talking while the movie's on? So then, the first time I ever did the commentary was with Young Frankenstein. I got Nancy got me
circle.
Young.
We planned all of this.
Nancy got me Young Frankenstein as a Christmas present, or one of my many Christmas presents. And
I only gets one.
he only gets
One a year.
I gave him the plastic on top. Here you go. Crinkle it and have fun in the corner.
Baby,
And
Go on.
the little those
the
plastic,
pop, the pop.
Go pop.
I
that,
still
yeah.
love the pop those.
You know what sucks as a parent? When you buy your child that expensive gift they wanted and you barely
They
had the
pop.
money, and they're having more fun with the box and the pop that was.
That's why
Right,
I
right.
buy the box. And the
That's my
pop.
mother. She always likes the pop thing. She had to give it. She had to pop it.
So, anyway, Young Frankenstein.
All right, gotta make it quick.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, coming up.
I put the.
we're gonna go right into Laughter Saves Lives. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We just switched the screen.
Young Frankenstein was the first time I ever had the commentary. And it was with Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks doing the commentary. You learned so much, and it was such a great movie.
He says, like, I shot this from this angle, I did that.
Oh, you
from
got a
that.
phone call.
So you put the volume
Right.
off.
Don't call him.
I
He's on
did
the
turn
air.
the volume, but I don't know how to
What
turn
are
the
you owe
phone.
money to today?
Yeah, that could be.
It's
That
Joey Bags.
Oh, we just lost a viewer. Oh, Benny's off. Okay.
It's Joey Bags.
You're welcome, Chris.
Joey Bags. All right. I guess we ran out of time.
We ran out of time.
We ran out
That's
of
a
time.
good thing. We had a fun show.
Yeah, we had a fun show. Had a
We
great
did,
time.
and Christy loved the show.
I hope you guys.
I'd love to
everybody
have you
for
guys on
watching.
again. It was a lot of
Yes.
fun.
Thank you all for watching. This has been Benny TV with Pat Marone, John Santo, and the kid in the corner, Baby
Kid in the
Gagoot.
corner, Baby Gagoot.
Thank you for
Baby
watching.
Gagoot.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Have
How
a
you
great
doing?
night, everybody.
Yeah, Macaroni Joe. Have a good night.
Take care.